Welcome back. Well, we're going to finish up our introductory lessons on radians and coterminal, and now we're going to talk about complementary and supplementary angles. Now, complementary and supplementary angles you probably learned from geometry, and they're really not that hard. I always like to sing a little song about complementary angles because complementary angles are 90 degrees and supplementary angles are 180. Oh, yeah. So complementary angles, I use this angle beta. This is what we call sometimes a beta. And I'm going to add that to alpha. We'll call that little alpha right here. And what we know is that beta plus alpha, if it's complementary, have to equal 90 degrees. So if we want to put this in radians, this would be beta, plus alpha. Would have to guess it. Hopefully you know, because pi equals 180 degrees, and therefore half of 180, which is pi over 2, that is what equals 90 degrees. And so that we know that is in radians. All right, so that's complementary angles. So two angles added together equal 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are complementary angles equal 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are 180. So that means that beta plus alpha have to equal 180 degrees. Or, if we put this in radians, beta plus alpha have to equal, well, what's 180 in radians? Well, you guessed it, pi. All right, so let's do some problems and try to figure this out. So let's just, hypothetically speaking, of course, let's say that beta, we'll start with, let's just do a radian. All right, let's say we had, let's go pi over 5, okay, pi over 5. Beta is pi over 5, and I want to figure out what's the complement. All right, a complement is when, yes, you make somebody feel good, but more importantly, a complement is two angles, all right, that you can add together that equal 90 degrees. So it's complementary angles. So what we're looking for is the complement, is we're looking for alpha. That will add together, that will equal, in this case, all right, pi over 2, because that's 90 degrees. So how can we set this up? Well, I have my little equation right here, but I'm going to do this, all right. I like it doing it this way. All right, and I probably should get my eraser right here to make this a little bit nicer. All right, so we're going to be taking this. I'm going to take a little alpha right here. That's going to go pi over 2. Well, pi over 5, all right, plus alpha is going to be pi over 2. So I'm basically solving for alpha, my complement. So what we're going to do is we're going to take pi over 2, and I'm going to subtract pi over 5, which is beta, other side, and that's going to equal little alpha, which is my complement. And I'm writing these very poorly, but that's pi over 5. So what do we have here? Well, in order to add these, subtract these together, we need a common denominator. So I'm going to say it's going to be 10. So we're going to have 5 pi's over 10. Minus, we have a 2 pi's over 10. And so my little alpha, my little complement, the beta right there, is going to be, straight those two, we have 3 pi over 10. All right, 3 pi over 10, and that is my complement, because 3 pi over 10 plus pi over 5, it's going to equal pi over 2. And there we have it. Now, if we wanted some supplementary angles, well, let's just think of one. Let's just say we have another one. So we want to figure out a supplement. All right. A supplement is an angle that you can add to another angle that equal 180 degrees, or pi, in this case, if we're talking about radians. So let's just say my beta. We'll give you something like this. We'll say 2 pi over 3. All right, now 2 pi over 3. If you wanted to, well, I'll talk about what this is in degrees in just a little bit. But this right here, 2 pi over 3, which is 2/3 of a pi. So it's 2/3 of 180 degrees, if you kind of think about it that way. So if you kind of draw this out, if you want to think about it visually, we're talking about 2/3 of pi. Now recall, pi is equal to 180 degrees. And I like to always think the 180 degrees right here. So we talk about 2/3 of pi. We're talking about this is going to be in this second quadrant. If you forget about quadrants, this is going to be quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and yes, this would be quadrant, quadrant 4. Not good on the old board. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have 2/3 of pi, and so our supplement is going to be that angle right there. All right, that is what little alpha is going to be, and that's what we're looking for that we can add. All right, beta plus alpha is going to equal 180, which in this case is going to be pi. All right, so let's figure this out. So this is that. We're going to add that to alpha, and that's going to equal pi. So to figure out alpha, we're going to take pi, and we're going to subtract 2 pi over 3. Holy cow, it's getting a little bit, my markers are getting a little testy right now, so I apologize for that. All right. And so what do we have here? That's pi. All right. Well, I need a common denominator. So I'm going to have 3 pi over 3 minus 2 pi over 3. And what do we have then? Well, I think we probably could have figured that out, actually. This is 2 pi over 3. In order to make a whole entire pi, we need 1 more third. What would be another pi over 3. And that, my friends, is what alpha is. And that, my friends, is what we refer to as our supplement. It's our supplement to beta. Why? Because it equals pi. What is pi, my friends? Pi in radians is 180 degrees, and that's what we found right there. Okay? So you can only find supplements when you have angles, all right, when they are less than 180 degrees. So make sure you're aware of that. In the same way, you can find complements when you have an angle starting off, which is going to be less than 100 or less than 90 degrees, right? In the same vein. And if you're wondering where is pi over 5, well, pi over 5, all right, we have that. It would be 1/5 of a pi, all right, and that's going to be somewhere in the first quadrant if we would write that out. Okay, so if you're kind of thinking about this, and if you want to draw these out, all right, this is 90, pi over 2, and pi over 5 is kind of 1/5 of a pi, 1/5 of a pi, all right, and that's going to be less than pi over 2, correct? All right, so it's probably going to be like, we have to divide this up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's probably going to be like right here, that's that angle right there. It's all about fractions. Okay, so that's what we're looking at pi over 5. All right, so that angle right there. All right, so we talked about complements and we talked about supplements. Complementary angles are 9 degrees, supplementary angles are 180, which we know is equal to pi. All right, so I hope that helps you understand a little bit more of how to find complementary and supplementary angles. All right, using radians, use 2 different examples, and there's many other tutorials, but hopefully that gets you a good start on how to do the rest of your problems. Well, good luck and God bless.